All right, section 113 is this is the requiring on a training on duty to intervene, and it will establish a clear duty to intervene for law enforcement officers when they see a law enforcement officer using excessive force against a civilian. And so specifically, the Attorney General will establish a training program for law enforcement, and this will be mandatory for federal law enforcement officers that every law enforcement officer goes through this training program and make sure that there's no confusion. If you see another officer using excessive force, you have a duty to step in. You have a duty to intervene. If you see another officer kneeling on the neck of a man for 9 minutes, you have a duty to stop it. Now, this applies to federal law enforcement officers on passage of this act. But as far as going to the states and encouraging the same thing in the states, this is where the Byrne grant leverage comes in. So beginning in the 2025 fiscal year, state or local government could not receive funds under the Byrne grant program unless they required their state law enforcement officers or local government law enforcement officers to complete this training program that the Attorney General is going to establish. So that's how we move this reform from federal level down into the states, by setting the proper example at the top and letting justice trickle down from there. I think that concludes my testimony on section 113.
Fantastic. I have a question. It does say in subsection A, the Attorney General shall establish a training program for law enforcement officers that establishes a clear duty to intervene in cases where another law enforcement officer is using excessive force against a civilian. Is this saying that the training program is establishing the duty? Is there an affirmative legal duty already in the law? And if so, shouldn't there be a reference to it in this section?
Yeah, that's a good question. I remember many years ago, we had a public hearing by a rep who wanted to require restaurant owners to post a sign saying that service animals were permitted in their restaurants. And I read her bill, and I asked her, like, well, is there anything in the law that actually requires that? And there wasn't. She just wanted to require them to post a sign. And it looks like maybe we fell into the same loop here. I'm not sure that there is actually a clear duty to intervene in the law. It's certainly implied in a lot of places, but it probably should be made more explicit. And this might be the section to do it. Be happy to work with the subcommittee to address that issue.